And actually,
but you call me average after
you
1
are
minute.
average.
But you call me after 1 minute of my first professional fight?
No, but you're still average. You're not.
It's not true. I just beat a 5-time world champion.
Jake Paul, please put this to bed or light the fire. What's going on?
I mean, sorry. This is the first time I've spoken about the fight. To be honest, like, I look at it and I think Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. I mean, look, for me, we'll do it for the banter.
Jake Paul.
Do you know what I mean?
That's serious. He can't really box. He can have a little fight. He can have a swing. Swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches. But it's not professional boxing.
Disrespectful as well. Like Anthony Joshua hasn't been a heavyweight world champion, beating all these absolute killers just to get called out by Jake Paul.
Eddie Hearn confronted Jake Paul live after his call-out of Anthony Joshua, calling it a wild moment. While Hearn doesn't take it too seriously, he acknowledges that Paul generates lucrative matchups. Despite doubts about Paul's boxing skills, his ability to create buzz remains undeniable.
No, really, I believe the two of them. I believe the two of them spoke. I mean, it sounds wild. At the moment, AJ doesn't have a world heavyweight championship. He's not trying to unify. So would he do it? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a huge money fight, straightforward job, and Jake Paul likes to create the wild moment, and that would certainly be a wild moment. But then he threw in 2026 at the end. I wish he'd just do it in 2025 if he wanted to do it. So don't take it too seriously in that respect right now. Do I think Jake would do it? I think he's mad enough to do it, yeah. So we'll see, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Great.
Is there any part of you that almost feels a bit reluctant to give Jake that opportunity in a sense?
Really, because if you have that kind of mindset, you'll always butcher yourself. That's what I say to fighters as well. Don't worry about what they're getting. Worry about what you're getting, and worry about what this opportunity is bringing. Jake Paul could make hundreds of millions from a fight. Yeah, don't do it, because you're giving him the opportunity to do it. Hey, fine, let him have it, because we're having what we're having. Thank you very much. Bosh, 1 round knockout, see you later. Raided. And that's what would happen in that fight. So, yeah, if he's wild enough to do it, never say never.
Jake Paul has not only challenged Anthony Joshua to a fight, but has also boldly claimed that Joshua has no chin and lacks skill. This statement has sparked outrage among boxing fans and analysts, given Joshua's impressive career, multiple championship wins, and battles against elite fighters like Vladimir Klitschko and Oleksandr Usyk. Many believe Paul is merely seeking attention by disrespecting a seasoned professional.
I want to fight Anthony Joshua, exclusive, because I know that I will beat Anthony Joshua.
I know he just got knocked out, right?
Yeah. He doesn't have a chin, and he has no skill, and he's stiff. And I love you, Anthony. We're friends. But I want to fight you. I will beat Canelo. I will beat a lot of people. I will not beat David Benavidez.
Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn has dismissed Jake Paul's boxing abilities, labeling him an average fighter. Hearn has repeatedly questioned whether Paul has what it takes to compete at the highest level, especially against someone like Anthony Joshua. While he acknowledges that Paul has improved over time, he argues that Paul is still nowhere near the level required to face elite heavyweights.
Paul good for the sport of boxing?
Yes, I know. Yes, I know these guys. They're unbelievably bright. I mean, Logan, much brighter than Jake, in my opinion. But Jake's smart. We have our ups and downs.
Yeah.
I respect Jake. I actually respect him in a boxing sense as well. But we fell out because I told him he was average. That's actually a compliment. Like, to be an average fighter, coming to this kid who's 26, 27, decides to go into boxing. We had a conversation where he's actually telling me he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. And I'm looking around for cameras. I'm thinking, am I Mike Tuck?
Also highlighted Jake Paul's outrageous claims, including his assertion that he could beat Canelo Alvarez. Hearn finds this claim absurd and believes Paul is greatly overestimating his abilities. While Paul has defeated former MMA fighters and less experienced boxers, the idea that he could challenge world-class fighters like Canelo or Joshua is laughable to many experts.
Well then, it was like Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul might be in discussions to fight. They were both on a call to each other earlier, and the viral video went round of Jake Paul saying he would knock out Anthony Joshua. If I'm being completely honest, I think Jake Paul would actually be lucky to make it out alive, and I'm actually being dead serious. I think Jake Paul would be lucky to make it out of the ring with Anthony Joshua alive. Tyron Woodley literally had Jake Paul on skates and had Jake Paul panicking for his life. Imagine what Anthony Joshua would do. Look at what Joshua did to the last non-boxer he fought in France. I think Garni. That is not going to end well for Jake Paul. But look, let's be real here. This fight should never happen. It's an absolute disgrace in sport if it does. And yeah, there's got to be a lot of backlash if this actually happens, because it's actually probably worse in the sport of boxing than what Fury and Garni was when it came around, or or Mayweather
When asked
McGregor.
about Jake Paul's challenge, Anthony Joshua reportedly laughed it off, saying that Paul is only doing it to stay relevant. Joshua believes Paul needs relevance insurance to keep his name in the boxing world, as fighting a superstar, like him, would generate massive publicity and financial gain for Paul. In recent years, influencer boxing has gained massive popularity, drawing huge pay-per-view numbers. However, the boxing world is now shifting back toward professional fights and away from influencer spectacles. Still, the crossover between professional boxers and influencer fighters continues to generate excitement, attracting new fans and engaging younger
We're involved
audiences.
in the sort of earlier days of that influencer world. We did the second Logan Paul KSI fight in LA. Numbers were huge. We did Jake Paul's professional debut in Miami in 2019 around the Super Bowl. And then I think we made a decision to move away from it, because I think the focus of our business was we got to just keep focused on professional boxing. Maybe in 10 years we'll look back and go, crazy, should have kept on doing that.
He genuinely thinks he's a world-class fighter. Like, he thinks...
So that's not bullshit.
No, he comes up to me at that fight and he's going, I beat Canelo. And I was like, and I looked at it, I was looking for his mic, because I thought maybe he wants to capture a bit of this for social content. And he's not wearing one. And I'm like, I'm looking for a camera. And there's no camera. I went, what? And he went, I'll beat you, boy. Canelo Alvarez. I'm like, you? Because he's got all these guys in the gym, like, telling him he's, and he's not. But he didn't like it, because I said to him, you're average.
Yeah, I remember saying that with that.
That's a compliment. Like, there's a 95% of fighters are average. Yeah. But he's better than some pro fighters like that. I thought that was a big compliment, but he didn't like
Hearn
it.
recently confirmed that Anthony Joshua is dealing with an injury and won't be fighting until at least August. Originally, Joshua was set to face Daniel Dubois, but the injury has delayed their matchup. Despite this, Jake Paul still called him out, leading many to question whether Paul is genuinely serious about the fight or simply using Joshua's name
to return. But we've heard absolutely nothing about it. Now, the Daily Mail are saying that Anthony Joshua is actually injured. Return timeline, as Eddie Hearn reveals, the heavyweight is unable to enter even training camp due to an injury setback. Anthony Joshua's estimated return date has been detailed after Eddie Hearn reveals the heavyweight has suffered from a setback. The British been out of action since he lost against Daniel Dubois at Wembley last September. With his future up in the air on the back of devastating knockout defeat, fans have been curious to know as to what his next move is, with no announcements made, despite reports he could face longtime rival Tyson Fury soon this year. Now, however, it's been revealed that Joshua is dealing with an injury, as revealed by Eddie Hearn. When asked, Joshua could face Dubois in a rematch after the champion pulled out of his fight against Joseph Parker due to illness. Let us carry on. That's kind of a bit more of a miscellaneous stuff. No rematch with Dubois will be happening anytime soon, though, Eddie Hearn revealed. He details when fans can expect Joshua's return to the ring. So we won't be seeing Anthony Joshua in the ring against Daniel Dubois for a rematch. That's not going to happen. I'm going to quote Eddie Hearn here directly. Now, it's interesting because Eddie Hearn hasn't really revealed much detail on it, but bear with me. It says, not a lot to report. He looks, listen, not a lot to report. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn told IFL from Australia, look, he resumed training, and to cut a long story short, without going into too much detail about any injury, he's not really ready to start camp. He needs another 8 weeks or so.
David Benavidez has acknowledged that Jake Paul is one of the biggest names in boxing when it comes to drawing attention and selling fights. While many purists criticize Paul's skills, Benavidez believes his involvement in the sport brings excitement and financial opportunities. Former world champion Carl Froch does not take Jake Paul seriously as a boxer, claiming that Paul lacks real boxing skills and merely jumps around the ring. After watching Paul's fight against Tommy Fury, Froch described it as a complete mismatch and asserted that Paul is far from being a legitimate contender.
Paul, that serious, he can't really box. He can have a little fight, he can have a swing. Swings away, stands up straight, and he throws punches, but it's not professional boxing. Because when I watch him box, there's just so much wrong. It's just everything's wrong. It's so bad. He's got leaky defence. He telegraphs his punches. Like, you put him in with someone his own side, who's a professional, it's a mismatch. And you'll see that if he ends up fighting somebody. Tommy Fury, bless him, he's a pro boxer, but he's inexperienced. He's got no amateur pedigree. He's a raw novice, or maybe just above the raw novice. I was saying earlier, where would I put him in terms of levels? He'd do well to win a British title. He's at that sort of level. And then from British title to world level, it's like different worlds. It's like totally different.
MMA fighter Darren Till has weighed in on the controversy, calling Jake Paul's challenge to Anthony Joshua disrespectful. He believes that despite Paul's marketing skills, he has not earned the right to challenge one of boxing's biggest names. Many in the boxing community share Till's sentiment, feeling that Paul is stepping far beyond his league.
Is it all just, does he actually believe that he can beat Anthony Joshua? Is it all clout? Is it all just keeping? I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit disrespectful as well. Like, Anthony Joshua hasn't fucking been a heavyweight world champion, beating all these absolute killers just to get called out by Jake Paul. But look at Jake Paul's believes in himself, then, you know, you can't really fault that. Like, obviously, but sometimes it comes across with delusion as well. Because I know for the third fight, Jake had to beat him up easy. Not easy, I beat him up though. And
a significant number of boxing fans are eager to see Anthony Joshua fight Jake Paul, not because they expect a competitive match, but because they want to see Paul humbled in the ring. Paul's constant call-outs of legendary fighters have irritated purists, and many view a fight with Joshua as an opportunity for him to be put in his place.